Welcome back. This is a very small corner of our living room, and I wanted to start off by saying thank you. I had no idea how this experiment in correspondence was going to pan out, but it's been very exciting. It, first of all, inspired me to send a lot of you emails linking back to these videos, and in response to those, I got some really interesting questions, I got some news, I learned a lot about where a few of you are, and Terry asked a very good set of questions, including one, are you lonely? And two, are you homesick? And I was like, well, yes, I thought that was kind of obvious. And it's not so much, and Terry herself specified, it's not really like the kind of homesickness where you don't love where you are, because clearly I am very happy where I am. It's more that I really miss having old friends. I mean, one of the things about friends that you've known for a long time is you have to have known them for a long time before you can get to that status. So being new in this place, I don't have any of those old friends. So thank you so much for participating in this with me and for continuing to be my friends despite, various periods of time that go by without any communication. Several of you expressed something along the lines of not wanting to get involved in anything that might be publicly shared or would mean that you'd have to be on camera, and that is totally fine. I didn't mean to imply that the only reason I was doing this was to publicize it or to put it out on YouTube or whatever. It's just that's the thing that I'm doing. Between hearing that several times and also reading this thing that my friend Rachel wrote about the different ways that we identify ourselves, I was wondering, are you really not ever gonna be interested in doing anything on camera? I mean, not because I feel like you need to be part of my project or I'm trying to collect content. I mean, there's been a lot that's come up lately around the ethics of telling other people's stories, but it's more like, are there ways that we are identifying ourselves that are holding us back in some way? So one of the things that happened to me last week is that this is now officially the longest I've ever been at any job. I've now been at Xero for 3 years and 1 week, and the last job that I had at RSF Social Finance was 3 years. So this is a pretty exciting milestone for me, and when I was working for myself, I think I told myself at that point, like, I am the kind of person that can only ever work for myself. I need too much flexibility in my schedule. I'm insomniac, so therefore I can't work a normal 9 to 5. And I had all these things that I was telling myself that really limited what I thought I could do professionally. I was really longing to be part of something that was gonna be a lot bigger than anything that I could accomplish on my own. All of that inspired me to start looking for a job, and I didn't really think of it as something I was committing to. At the time, I thought, oh, I'll just take the job, and if I don't like it, or if the hours are too long, or if my insomnia is proving to be impossible to work with, all of these things I was telling myself, I can just quit. Doesn't matter, I don't have a stake in it. But at the same time, I had put a lot more effort into finding a job that might be a good fit so that if it was gonna work out, I wouldn't feel bad, or like I knew it was part of like my bigger life picture to be involved in that business and doing the work that I wanted to be doing. So I want to believe that all the work that I put in ahead of time to make a better choice also led to the fact that I am now there and still there and quite happy despite having a different job description and being in a different office in a new country. I am super grateful to my boss, Pat, who yesterday asked me a really amazing question in our one-on-one. He asked me, are you feeling splintered at all? And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean splintered? And so he clarified, he said, are you feeling splintered in terms of the work you're doing here and your life path? And I just felt so grateful that he would even ask that kind of question. I mean, I fully trust that here's someone that really believes in what I'm capable of in the grand scheme of the world and my role in the universe, and not just like, what can you do for the company and how can you fulfill the role that is in your job description. Of course, I had no idea that this would be part of the job, and just like this project, I had no idea what ways that I would be corresponding with you, but in both cases, I'm just so grateful for how things have turned out. And my phone just ran out of space, so I missed a whole big long thing that I had recorded, but that's fine because you get to avoid the long rambling thing that wasn't important. What is important is that I wanted to ask you, if I haven't already, what are the kinds of transitions that you've been able to affect in your life? What are some of the ways that you've really strongly identified that you just don't anymore? What are some of the ways that you've grown or evolved, or that your perspectives have changed so that you just have like a lot more space to become more of who you are? Because ultimately, I think that's what this project is for me, is I want to showcase more of the ways that we've been able to grow into who we are and kind of get away from those self-limiting beliefs and build the support around ourselves that is what is in fact required to make some changes to become or to do more of who we are. So that was a mouthful, but I hope it makes sense. I really look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.